Hello, I am representing the STUD-Fall 2018 team. We are working on the Startup FIU version 1 questionnaire project. Product owner is Robert Hacker. The professor and mentor is Dr. Masoud Sajadi. The developers are Yolanda Belisario, Fernando Pujol, Noemi Valle, Yang Xiao, and myself, Rene Alfonso. For this demo, we're going to be showing you all the features for the admin actor.
The first action is to authenticate in the system. So the startup administrator will go to the admin login page. In there, the administrator will be able to supply the username and password. In this case, we created a default username admin and default password. But this authentication information will be stored in a repository, and the startup administrator will be able to provide its credentials. Then the administrator can go and manage skills. In this page, you will see all the skills that are currently in the system with the corresponding weight they have in the overall psychological assessment and the number of questions that each skill will add to the questionnaire. Also, there is a new skill button where the startup administrator can create a new skill. Let's say that the new skill is gonna be called skill test. Let's call it to identify skill test. The weight should be a number, which is the percentage of this skill in the overall assessment. Let's assume that it's gonna have 5%. And let's say that the number of questions will be 1. By default, the enable checkbox is marked because you're adding a new skill and it's supposed to be enabled. So when the skill is added, it will be displayed in the list of skills. Now, the administrator will be able to add questions for that skill. So when clicking on the questions link, there is no question so far. So we click on the add question, and let's call it question 1 for skill test. That this would be the question itself, but this is just a test. And the possible choices. Let's say yes, no, maybe, I don't know. And the way that each choice has when it's selected. Let's say that yes has a 95%, if it's no it's 5%, if it's maybe 40%, if it's, I don't know, 30%. These values will be determined by the startup administrator that is providing the question. And by default, the new question will be enabled. So when we add the question will be displayed here. So now let's return to the skills. Let's now assume that the administrator wants to disable some questions and also change the weight for some skills. Let's say that the administrator wants to reduce this weight by 5, to 15. And let's say that it will update the number of questions for this skill to 2 instead of 1. So once all changes have been made, the administrator can click on the Save button and that configuration will be saved. And the next questionnaire will add 2 questions for this skill, and the weight for the coachable skill will be 15 instead of 20. Now another action that can be performed is to disable the question. So suppose that now the administrator want to disable this skill. So you just click on the checkbox, which is the enable status. So if it's unchecked, it means that it's not enabled anymore, and click save. And so now the question is disabled. The same way, questions can be disabled. So when you click on the questions, if the disabled link is clicked, it means that that question will be disabled and will not be presented in the questionnaire anymore. Now, if we go to this skill, we'll see that there is only one question for that skill because the other one was disabled. So with this admin dashboard, the startup administrator will be able to manage the psychological assessment by adding managing skills and adding and disabling questions.
Thank you. We hope that this information has been useful. Again, the product owner is Robert Hacker. The professor and mentor is Dr. Masoud Sajadi. The developers are Yolanda Belisario, Fernando Pujo, Noemi Valle, Yang Xiao, and Rene Alfonso. Thank you, and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions